Welcome to 52 Authors, 52 Weeks, Season 3. I'm Dr. Lisa L. Campbell, the Growth Motivator. Each week, I sit down with a different author to explore what lies behind the pages. Growth, purpose, finding your voice. Enjoy today's episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing episode of 52 Authors, 52 Weeks with me, your host, Dr. Lisa L. Campbell, the Growth Motivator. Today, I am virtually visiting the New Jersey area, Jersey, as some folks say, with author Steve Ferman, who is the author of Just Get Up and Drive. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Hey, Lisa, thanks for having me.
I know we're going to have some fun. You guys may think Steve is very calm and sedated, but trust me, Steve, I could already tell when we were chatting before we hit record that Steve probably was a problem back in the day, is what I'm thinking. I could be wrong,
And
but
what I had, my parents told me I had ants in the pants.
uh, I
Now
know.
they give you medication and call it ADD is what they give it. Yeah, we were rambunctious when I was a kid. That's just proving how old I really am.
Hey, you only as old as you feel, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. When I tell people I'm 52, they're like, "What?"
Yeah, you don't look 52.
I know. Listen, I am just trying to live every day like it's my last and, make some good choices. I don't always do that, but I think my youthfulness is from the inside out.
Yeah.
Like you, I wake up every day thanking God for another day because I know that tomorrow is not promised. Tonight is not promised.
Yes, ma'am. It's so
Mhm.
true. Especially seeing some of the stuff I've seen, I really believe that.
Oh, I know, I know. And guys, for those of you who are like, what is Steve talking about? Steve is a Marine veteran, but we're going to allow Steve to tell us all about a little bit about him before we get into some aspects of the book.
Okay. Now,
And Steve is crying. Oh my
oh,
gosh, what did I say?
no, I'm not crying. I have water in my eyes. That's part of being 64. That'll happen to you too. Don't worry. I'm sorry to tell you.
Steve, we were doing so good, Steve, until you had to go and ruin it.
All right. So you want me to do my little background now?
Yes,
Oh,
Steve.
you didn't go. Oh, I'm kidding. Sorry. So true. I am a United States Marine, retired. I am also active in the Robert J. Slattery Marine Corps League, where we help all branches of the service. We don't only help the Marine Corps, but we do things like Toys for Tots and raise money and that kind of stuff. I am the father of 3 children. 40, my son's going to be 44 in December this month, and 31 and 28-year-old daughters from my last marriage. I always say that. I've been married now to my lovely wife, Melanie, for 35 years, with her 38 years. And I live in New Jersey or New Jersey, depending on where you're from. In New Jersey, depends on how you say it.
I went to New Jersey one time to do an audit at a hospital, and I didn't really get to see much of the town, primarily because I'm quite the scary cat. So for me, it's like airport, hotel, hospital, and reverse, and I'm out. I don't generally, venture out and see
Not
things.
a wanderer.
Yeah, no, I am not a wanderer at all. I should have been in the military because I am very structured.
Yes, yes. No, I had to learn that, and boy, they teach you that in boot camp. And ironically, a lot of that's in the book. But it's all about learning structure. And I think in Israel, they make you go into the military for like 2 years right out of high school, which honestly, I don't think would be a bad thing in any country for anyone. I think it'd be a good idea to learn structure and learn to be responsible and that kind of stuff. I think it'd be good for everyone.
So, Steve, it's funny you mentioned that because, I'm in Illinois. I'm about 30 miles from Chicago. And I've been thinking over the last couple of decades, wouldn't it be nice if you graduate high school, you go to the military, you get that structured from a mindset perspective, then you can go out and hopefully be a productive citizen.
Yeah.
So I wish I and some there's a couple of countries that do that because was that Prince Harry who had to do his military service? There's a musical group from another country that had to stop touring and go do their military service. So
Yeah, I just know about Israel. I'm not sure about the other countries, but yeah, I think it's just a good thing. It definitely helped me for sure because I was a wild child.
I can tell Steve is trying to stay tamed, but let's talk about the book. So in the book, you kind of blend military discipline, which has been tried and tested. We know it works with some real world business experience to create this framework for resilience and success. What made you write this book?
Oh man, that's a great question. Out of all the questions you were going to ask me, I didn't expect that one. So well done. What made me write this book? I wrote this book, and here's what the book looks like for those of you at home. Just get up and drive. Drive is a an acronym or a methodology of determination, resilience, innovation, vigilance, and endurance. It's about getting back up when you get knocked down, and we all have our moments. There's a lot of stories in there about things that I lived through, other people have gone through, and they just persevered through it. It's about, and what made me really write it was that, I had a rough childhood. There's a story there about me being, and I actually named it Steve, but being 4'9" till I was 15 years old. And I used to get my butt kicked. And I was a smart ass. So I deserved to get my butt kicked. But because I couldn't back it up, I had to figure out a way to survive. And my way to survive was I was a cross country runner. I ran I think my fastest time was 4 minutes and 40 seconds in a mile. And you know what? I could just run my way out of a lot of stuff. So I realized that I had a superpower. So the perseverance and the grit that I got out of the Marine Corps, really helped me kind of put in my mind that one day I wanted to help somebody else, not have to live the stuff that I went through, not have to learn how to adjust their mindset and how to adapt and innovate, like I did. So I wrote it because if I could help one person, kind of roundabout way to tell you, then my job is done, and that's why.
I think it's important for our listening, viewing audience to really understand that when we as authors write books, we're really writing it not because we want to just say we wrote a book, but we've been through some things. And if we can help somebody else
Mhm.
maybe avoid those things personally, or be the vehicle that helps someone else go through whatever their situation is, then we've done our job.
Right.
Because unless you get a big book deal, you're not making millions of dollars off a book.
Yeah, and there's people out there that they want to be what's it called when you get the big publishing thing. There's a status you get. Oh,
I don't know.
bestseller
Bestseller.
book. That's it.
New York
I didn't write
bestseller.
it. Yeah, I didn't write it to be a bestseller. Maybe one day, that'll happen. I hope it happens because I help people. I got a text like 2 months ago from a guy who's a business executive coach, like I am. And he had the book on his knee in his car, and he took a snapshot of it at 8 o'clock in the morning. And he said, I just wanted to thank you for this book. It gets me hyped up and motivated before I go into my next sales call. And I was like, right there.
Touchdown.
Touchdown. I had another woman whose son was contemplating suicide. And I said, I'm going to send you a book. I didn't do nowhere near this person. They're not from here. I don't want to mention where. But I'm going to send you a book, and I want not only you to read it, but I want you to give it to your son. Ask your son to read it. And so far, so good. Knock on wood. He's not thinking about the horrible things he was thinking before, because a lot of it in there is from my own inner demons of wanting to give up. wanting to quit, having that mindset that's just, you know, scarcity and not abundance. Not, I think the Marine Corps really helped me a lot or the most in being able to get my ass kicked in plain English, getting back up again and going, come on, let's go. You got more? Give it to me. And it's all really here. The mind is a powerful, powerful tool.
And it's so funny that you mentioned about the young man that was contemplating taking their life. When I was in 1993, I had personally made a decision that I didn't want to be here anymore. And after that experience, because I obviously survived, um,
And we're thankful for that.
yes, we are thankful for that. Um, I realize that I was here for a reason, and part of my not wanting to be here was that I had given birth a year prior to a little girl who is deaf, is nonverbal, has some intellectual disabilities, and I was just like, why me? Like, I was questioning why me. I'm like, God, I didn't terminate my pregnancy. I owned up to to my responsibilities. So why me? And I realized that I actually needed her to find my voice because me being her voice helped me find mine.
There you go.
But I didn't have a book, Steve. I didn't have
Sorry. Well,
resources.
you've already read mine, so now you know all the right things to do and how to get rid of head trash. You got it all down.
Hey, Steve. Okay, you brought it up. So, can you tell our listening, viewing audience, and then I'll get into a couple of questions, what you mean by head trash?
Oh, I think I invented that word because I never heard it before, and a lot of people have commented on it with me. Head trash is when you allow outer scenarios, people, negativity, just your own internal struggle of, man, I'm not good enough, imposter syndrome, just get in the way of making good, proper decisions and realizing you are good enough. I've given talks to over 5,000 people. I'm a singer. So I've actually sang at the House of Blues in Fenway, across the street from Fenway Park, in front of 5,000 people at an event. And was I a little nervous? Did I have a little imposter syndrome at first? Yes. But I got up on that stage. I said, you know what? I can sing. I'm really good at this. And me and Flashback Heart Attack, we sang so well, they had me sing four more songs.
Oh my gosh, Steve, you didn't tell me you were a singer.
Am, yes, lead singer in a rock band. But the point is, and the moral to the story is that if I had let the head trash of, up, you're not good enough, someone's going to laugh at you, someone's going to think this of you, if I let any of that get in the way, I never would have been able to get up and have that experience of singing in front of 5,000 people. And most of them were my peers. So there was a lot of pressure. But that's really what I mean by head trash. Head trash is self induced doubt, self induced mindset of scarcity instead of abundance. And you know what? You are all good enough. You are all worthy. You just have to believe in yourself. I say believe in Steve because it rhymes. Just believe. Just believe. Believe in Steve if you like. It's fine.
I love that. So let me just tell you, Steve, I've been a professional speaker since 2003, so over 20 years. And I tell people all the time, no matter how large or small the audience is, I am always nervous until I open my mouth at the microphone. And I mean, Steve, when I say nervous, I'm saying my
Oh, I
stomach is
sweat.
doing flips, right?
I sweat profusely until the first 30 seconds of me talking. Every time.
Yes.
And I've been doing it for 40 years.
But you know what I realized? That it's God keeping me humble before I hit that stage. And I always say a little prayer. I don't know if you're spiritual, religious or not, but I always say a little prayer like, God, please let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable. I want to have an impact on those that are listening to me speak because it's not about me, it's about those that are in the audience.
I actually went through the sections that we decided to talk about, you had asked me about, and I reread them and highlighted them. And I thought to myself, I know this book inside and out. I wrote it, but that's just who I am. That's just the kind of person that I am, that I want to make sure I do a great job and I don't miss any really good points with some little nugget that will help somebody. So, just be over prepared. That's what I would
Instead of under prepared.
said, underprepared.
Yes. So let's get
Being
into
early or late. If you're a Marine, if you're not early, you're late.
Steve, my grandfather, since I was a kid. So my grandfather, fun fact, my grandfather was 52 when I was born.
Wow.
I'm 52 now. So I was 52 when he died. I realized that that has some significance. And I'm
Yep.
really thinking about exactly what it is. But anyway, my point is granddaddy always said, if you're on time, you're late. Before I can even walk, I heard him say that.
Yep.
So, and it's something that I really strive to follow. So I like will trick myself and be like, "Oh, my appointment is at 8. I'm gonna put it on my calendar for 7:30." Just so that I can honor that standard because I think it's
Yeah.
important.
I'll give you a quick little tip slash trick for holding meetings. Don't have a meeting at 9 o'clock. Have a meeting at 8:57. Have a meeting at 9:02. The fact that it's on some weird little like number makes people constantly think about it. You get a lot more people on time.
Absolutely.
Try it. Everyone out there, try it.
All right. Remember, Steve said it.
Yeah.
So, Steve, let's talk a little bit about the book. So, in chapter 1, you talk about, I'm going to call them characters, but Jessica, who was completing college, and Malcolm, who was recovering from injury, and
No
Lindsay,
boring.
who was building that bakery. But the key message behind their stories was about perseverance. Why do you think perseverance is the foundation for really unlocking your potential, your gifts?
I don't know if I should attribute it to the Marine Corps or to being a cold calling salesman way back in 1984 when I was selling the emergency response systems help by phone and I can't get up. But I learned to persevere at a young age. Little side note: I left home at 16, couldn't get along with my mother. I was living in Florida at the time. I lived on the beach, bummed around, went to school because I did want to go to school. And I just never gave up on the fact that we could build our relationship back, and we did. And I moved back home, and maybe that was the beginning of it. But perseverance to me is just getting your mindset to where you're never going to quit. You're going to get what you want because you're going to work so hard at it and believe that you can achieve it, believe that you deserve it, that you're worthy of it, that you just keep persevering. And the story, for those of you that do end up reading the book, the story on Jessica finishing college is actually about my wife, who grew up in basically the lower end of town, we'll call it. And her parents were not very well off. They rented furniture. She had a rough life. She had to take the bus everywhere. So and she doesn't drive. So she would take the bus after going to college. Or after school, she'd take the bus and take classes at college. Then she'd go to work, and then she'd take the bus again back home. And she did this for 6 years to graduate, going to Montclair State, which is a really nice university. But the story is about just not giving up, trying over and over again. Don't let the world tell you you can't do it. And perseverance, I think, drives a lot of the rest of the things in the book, like grit, like vigilance, like endurance. You know, if you give up, I guarantee you're going to fail. You're going to get it. You're going to fail. But if you keep trying, you have a shot at it. There's something I think I do mention The Secret in the book, but there's this whole thing called The Secret. Have you ever heard of The Secret?
Mhm.
The secret is supposedly that you manifest things to happen. And I think what you're truly doing is you're putting yourself out there enough times that the manifestation is actually you just being out there enough times to where when it comes by, boom, it can catch you. And that's kind of when it happens.
I love that. I am definitely a dreamer, a visionary. And I believe wholeheartedly in manifesting things. There are some things that have happened to me that it kind of scares me because I'm like, I saw that in my dreams. I saw that in my time when I was meditating. And so I believe it is something that actually works if you're willing to be
Your
vulnerable.
mindset in the right frame of mind.
Yes.
So you're
Yes.
putting yourself in that potential situation so that it can actually happen to you. But if you were to take yourself, lock yourself in your bedroom, close your door, and say, "Oh, I suck. The world's never going to find me. They're never going to meet me. I'll guarantee you're not going to meet anybody, and the world's never going to find you." And yeah, you're going to suck. Yeah, that's all there is to it.
Tell us how you really feel, Steve.
I'm Marine. Sorry, body
You know
mouth.
what? I love it. I love it. I had a friend back in the day who was a Marine, and he was that person that he didn't sugarcoat anything.
Once a Marine, always a Marine.
Yes, yes. So, Steve, you talked about how you reframed your childhood and you recognized your superpower, right? Um, Being small and being bullied is something that so many, not just children, because adults are being bullied in the workplace.
Yeah,
But how can you take your own, um, what you perceive as a weakness and turn it into a strength?
I think you have to look within yourself to find out what you're really good at. And when you find out what you're really good at, get even better at it. For me, again, 4'9" times 15, you know, kids used to chase me down and beat me up. And then I learned how to run and I did cross country and track and I got fast. And then I got older and I learned karate and I got taller and I sprouted up to 5'6". I'm 5'7.5" now. Don't forget that half because that's important. But I ended up and in karate you're not taught to hurt people, you're taught to defend yourself. But I was able to defend myself. And that automatically just flipped the switch on. Now they weren't bullying me anymore. I was now part of the group that I wanted to be a part of. The ones I didn't want to be a part of because I had some feelings. That's all right. It's all good. Not everyone's for everyone. But I think, to answer your question, you really need to bear down. You need to like really find what's your superpower and leverage it. Like you said, you were a visionary. One of my superpowers as an adult is a visionary. I can tell you of my five things on my hand right now that I saw coming down the pike from, the feeling of uncertainty in the world today to the cloud where people had virtual desktops back in 2007 to people are going to be storing their data in these boxes in some data center, which is now the cloud. I'm a visionary in that regard too. So I totally get it. I feel you.
Yeah. Steve, you just kind of distracted me because you said bear down and I'm a Chicago Bears fanatic and this year we're doing so good. It's just it's interesting to watch it all unfold because everybody kept saying they're crap, they're crap, they're crap. But
Right.
you have to keep showing up.
Well, think about what they did and what they do. They get together, they rally up, they support each other, they have the positive mindset. They just get up and drive. They got determination, resilience, innovation, vigilance, and endurance. And they just keep on coming at you.
Yes, and at the time of this recording, we are a few days away from playing our arch rivals, and so,
Yep.
whew, I'm on pins and needles just thinking about it. So I'm ready. Hey, Steve, I'm also glad that you said you needed that half. I am 5'5 3/4, and it is very important that 3/4 is recognized because my husband is 6'3", and so he teases me about, my 3/4. This is very important.
Yeah, both of my daughters, poor girls, 5'1" and barely 5 foot. They're like, "It's your fault." I'm like, "No, it's not. It's grandma's fault. She was a short one. My dad was 6'2".
Oh, yeah. But you know what? You just never know how it's gonna unfold. So we don't have a lot of time left. So there's one more question I want to ask you. Is about these tools that you have in chapter 7. that because you kind of keep there's a theme that you keep poking at. And so in chapter 7, you have these tools. 7 is my favorite number. Anyway, you have these tools to help us work on our self doubt. Tell us a little bit about those tools.
The tools in chapter 7, the one that I didn't read. Oh, I have lots of tools, so I need to look at this stupid book.
Right. It's all up here.
When someone tells me I can't,
I
that's,
can.
that just means I'm going to work harder to prove that I can. But no, there are some really good tools. You can do things like what I call mirror reflection time. When I get in front of a mirror and I'll say out loud, I am worth $5,000 to coach this client. I am good enough. I do have the knowledge. Just simple things like that sound kind of crazy. Like people are going to think you're nuts talking in the mirror. That's all right. Do it whenever you're in the bathroom alone. You don't have to say it loud. Just say it. But I think affirmations are really important in life. Don't let people tell you this is a great tool and this is a mindset tool. Don't let people tell you who you are. You define who you are. You are who you want to be, and you can be anything you want to be. And the mind, think about it, 20% of it, if we even use 20% of it, we got 80% left. We're not even touching. So imagine how much power you have. I talk in the book about, just go for a little side tangent, sorry. I talk in the book about in the Marine Corps in boot camp, I went to Paris Island and I went in June, the end of June, almost July. And, it's hot and you're sweating and it's sweaty out. There's little bugs called chiggers. And these little chiggers, these insects, eat their way into your skin. God forbid you get out of attention and you smack one, you kill it. You got to dig a 3-foot hole and bury this little tiny bug. But having the determination and the resilience and the knowledge of, hey, this is only going to last so long. I'm not going to let some little bug beat me. I'm not going to move. I'm going to just take it. And believe me, it was not fun. But, it gives you I guess the tool is learning how to really lean on the powers in your head. Lean on yourself. Believe in yourself.
Yes. So in the book, you actually talk a lot about growth mindset. And there's my favorite, Dr. Carol Dweck's book on mindset. When I read that, it changed my mind,
Yep.
literally.
Yeah.
But the story you just told about the military standing and not moving, I was just watching something. I said to my husband, "How do they stand there and not move?" Because I'm a fidgeter, right? So I said, I'm gonna practice just standing to see if I can stand at ease for 60 seconds. Is it at ease? I don't know what the word is, but just stand for
Yep.
60 seconds
Parade
without
rest.
moving.
Parade rest.
Yeah.
Coordination, yeah.
I'm gonna have to try that because it definitely will
I'll tell you
remind
the
me.
motivator. Here's your motivator. If you had to do locker box inspection, you would stand still. And what that means is you take your locker box, fill all your clothing and your boots and your clothes, and you hold that in front of you. And then they'll say, right shoulder locker box. And you have to pick it up and then move it over to your shoulder. And you got to hold it there for 5 minutes. Left shoulder locker box. And this is what the end result's going to be. If you move, that bug's going to live forever. I'm just saying.
Well, Steve, I don't like bugs. I don't like bugs, but I definitely believe in the power of mindset. I wish when I was younger, I was taught mindset because I felt like we were taught, oh, you got to get grades, and then you got to get a job, and then you retire.
And nobody prepares you for the world hits that are going to come at you that you have no idea how to deal with them.
And sometimes they come so much
Mhm.
that if you don't have the tools, it literally will cause you to not wanna be here anymore, and I don't want that. I don't want anyone to have to go through what I went through.
Me either, because I've been there myself, and that's not fun. Not fun.
Not at all. So, Steve, we are really truly out of time, but I just wanna know, are you gonna sing a note or 2? What you got, Steve?
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. 'cause we're all in the mood for a melody. And you got me feeling all right. There's my little
I love it, Steve.
song.
I love music. Love, love, love music. I could go a whole day without watching TV if I just have some music. Usually I use music with no words, but it just kind of puts me in the zone. But Steve, I would love for you to tell our listening viewing audience where they could find you other than New Jersey because it's snowing right now. Nobody wants to get on the plane.
I don't blame them. So you can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on my website, www.4pillarcoach.com. My book's on my website. If you wanted to buy it, you can go to Amazon and look it up. Just Get Up and Drive. I don't think I could post links. So yeah, we're good. I mean, I'm here.
Well, don't worry, Steve. I'm gonna put the links in after we're done post production. But I want to thank you so much for being here today. When I started 52 Authors, 52 Weeks, I
How
was just trying to be a podcaster. I did not know how much my life was going to change as a result of meeting individuals from across the country, from all walks of life. And I just feel I'm blessed to be able to interact with people who we probably would have never met each other.
No, probably not. And I'm glad we did. So now we got to stay in touch. That's the trick. It's
Yes.
good to meet people, but the ones you really feel akin to or you really get along with, you got to stay in touch with them.
Yes, because we are the champions.
Of the world. Yes, ma'am.
I love that song. I love that song. All right, everybody. I just finished chatting with Steve Ferman, author of Just Get Up and Drive. And Steve, you show that cover. You see the boat on there. Just Get Up and Drive. Steve is really trying to get us to realize that drive is about mental toughness and correcting your mindset. And it doesn't matter if you're 50, 60, 70, you can have a mindset shift if you're willing to put in the work.
Can I give one little quickie?
Sure, Steve.
If you look at the guy in the boat, he's rowing the boat sitting the wrong way. That's ChatGPT. That's what happens. It doesn't always, it hallucinates. But the whole idea of this is that this is a person heading for their horizon, their dreams, and they're rowing, rowing, rowing. If they don't stop and turn around and look behind to see how far they've gone and realize the shore is gone, they'll have a real defeatist attitude of wanting to get to their goal. But if you stop every so often, here's a little quick tool, stop every so often and celebrate your wins and your successes, moving forward after your goals and dreams is a lot easier.
I love it, Steve. And I
Yeah.
absolutely believe in that. Steve, we're kindred souls.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everyone. Well, this has been another amazing episode of 52 Authors, 52 Weeks. I'll see you next time. You've just experienced another conversation from 52 Authors, 52 Weeks, Season 3. The conversation may pause here, but the growth continues. I'm Dr. Lisa L. Campbell, the Growth Motivator, and I'll see you next week.